What's the word? What's the word? This your boy again, Landon, coming from Television Talented. So y'all know today I'm coming back with another banger. So I want to thank everybody who's been supporting me, who's been watching, listening to my podcast, sharing my thing, sharing my posts and everything I'm doing. Thank you. I got a lot more things coming up. Like I got a positivity event I'm hosting. I got the back to school book bag giveaway coming up too. So I'm working on a lot of different things. And I got my documentary coming out. It's going to be called Surviving 5227. Excuse me on that. So what I'm trying to get to today is the topic is called checkers versus chess. And I have to give it to you guys like this. Me growing up as a younger man than I am now. So from age of 17 up to 24. So why it's called checkers versus chess is this. A lot of people know the board game of checkers. You know, you take one piece, you move a space, then you jump another one, another person jump you until you get to their side of the board and you get a king. Then you can backspace and everything like that. So why I'm starting off with chess is when I was younger, I used to play the game of checkers with my life. And I used to just run around from side to side on the board, front, because you can't go back unless you got a king. So I was moving around every place I can until I felt like I became a king on my board, what I was playing on. And once I became a king, then I can move to the side and jump people, move back forward, jump people, move around. And once you're a king on the board in checkers, you got free range to do anything. You either can double and triple jump spaces once you're a king, that you can take people out. And what I mean by taking people out, when I was playing checkers with my life, I didn't care what I was doing. I was just moving in whatever direction I can move into. You know, once I was a king, I'm going to move freely until all the pieces was out my way. And then I just own the whole board. And the fastest I can get that king, the fastest I can rule. So it was just parts of that. I feel like if it's people in my way, I backstab them. If it's things I want, no wasn't an option. I'll take it from them. And I didn't like hearing the word no because I always looked at myself as a king. But you figure by me playing checkers with my life, I didn't have really no rules. The rule of the game is as many kings you can get on the board and as fast you can take the other people out. Be cool. So I was moving around from selling drugs to women to location to whatever I felt like it was feasible for me at the time. And moving that way and that fast in my life without no structure, it led me to disaster. Because once I felt like I was a king of my board, could nobody tell me nothing, I was the head honcho, I was the ruler, then I got too hot-headed. And then you all of a sudden, a king had to jump me because in a game of checkers, you can get jumped by a king and take you out. So I got jumped by a king playing checkers. And then that put me in a situation that the way I was moving, it's like looking down a well. It's just dark. And it's just a long fall. And you figure, I don't know when I'm going to hit. But you figure when I do, it's not going to be pretty. So once I got jumped by the king by playing checkers, this where everything else really started to make sense about where I need to go in my life. So I got in trouble and I had to sit down for a while. I remember this day when I was in jail. My cellmate told me, look, there's two things in this world you're going to do. And he explained it to me on the platform that I was in jail in this world, because that's the world I was gonna do. He's like, you either gonna be a gambler or you'll be an observer. So he was like, look at all them people over there. They gambling. They checker players. He's like, look at all these people over here. They observers. They chess players. He's like, you see how they can go from playing cards to playing checkers to betting on the game. He's like, that's fast-paced movement. They don't have no structure, and they already setting themselves up for disaster because they moving from here, and then they trying to rule in everything. He's like, an observer is, you want to sit back and wait on them to make the next move so you know how you need to defend yourself. So he told me the strategy of playing chess. And what I got from that is it was simple, but it was very hard for me to do. I never played chess when I was locked up. But how he explained it to me, I can play chess. He told me that you have a queen you have to protect. And if they get to your queen, your game's over. So he said every move you make is a very critical move. So didn't understand why he was telling me that until now that I look at my life now. I have a queen. I have my wife. So every direction I'm going in my life, if I move the wrong way, it's affecting her. It's affecting my kids, which my knights, and then that can cost me the game. So he also told me was this. It don't matter who goes first, because eventually y'all both gonna have to move. He pretty much told me once I move, make it my move that I can't be attacked. Make it a move that he got to make 2 or 3 moves to attack me. But by the time he attacked me, I'm already far apart from him that he still couldn't attack me. Make him be in an uncomfortable situation so I can move freely. Didn't understand what he was saying. So he also told me this. In life, you have to pave your own road. And when you pave your own road, it's only a road that you can take. He was like, if you keep trying to take your friends down the road that you're going, you're playing checkers. But you trying to take your queen down the road that you're heading to, you're playing chess. He said the logic of this game is don't move too fast, but move in a timely manner that's going to work for you. And don't never let nothing attack your queen. So I'm like, man, I understand what you're saying with the queen, but how's this making sense to what you're trying to show me? He's like, with any situation you in, you have to observe it. Okay, what's the statistics in me being a podcaster? What's the statistics of me making it as a new podcaster talking on a Christianity basics? So I did a research on that. It's not a lot of podcasts. There's a lot of podcasts out there who talk about religion, but there's not talk about how God gave me to talk about religion. So after I did the statistics on everything of how God gave it to me, there's really no road down there that I can compare to. So I just have to just constantly keep moving in this road that I'm paving for myself. And while I'm going down it, I'm going to have to keep paving it. Because at the same time, once people seeing the moves you making, then they going to sit roadblocks in front of you. And then if they move the right roadblock, it can tear you down. I'm just talking about chess right now so y'all get the logic of how you play chess. By moving the right pieces where they at. Yes, the game seems familiar. They both have squares on it, and you know you can move forward or back in the directions you can. But chess have a lot more pieces, and you figure totally different concepts with it. Because you can play checkers in about 3 minutes, but you figure in chess it might take you about 5-6 hours, sometime longer. I remember sitting down when I was in jail, watching. And one game lasts 48 hours just because they know what the next person move, how I can stop them. So they just watch the board. And then they want to attempt to make a move, then they just stop like, nah, you know what? He can do this to block what I got. So you know what? I'm just going to be patient and just to see if something else pops up what I've been missing. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is, like in life, sometimes you might be in a good position that you can't get blocked. And you just have to stay still and just watch the game. Play the game out in your head. Then once you got the thorough logic of your next move, you make it. So when I watched them play the game, a lot of stuff just wasn't making sense. I'm like, okay, y'all ain't moving no pieces in 2 days now. He's like, I moved every piece in my head. I know how I can beat him, but I also know how he can stop me and beat me at the same time. So I'm like, well, what y'all do at this point? He's like, you got to play checkers like you play life. There's two things you do in life. You either can call it a quit and a draw, there's no winner, or you just wait because eventually somebody will get impatient and they're going to branch off and do other things. So it went back like 4 days now. We was in jail. They set the pieces up back each day. They remember where it's at. Every day they just set the game back up. About 4 days into it, the next guy, he was impatient. He was tired of sitting there because he started psyching himself out of his mind. What'd he do? He made the move. Boom. The guy moved his piece. Pow, pow, got to his queen. He said, checkmate. And if he didn't just have patience to sit back what he was doing, the game would have been over a long time ago. But like he said, you got to play chess like you do your life. You got to make your next move your best move. And always go down your lane that God gave you. So I come to this now, I'm like, okay, what's really shaking? Like, I don't understand why I'm starting to think about checkers and chess. I'm in a situation like this now. I'm 26, about to be 27 next month. I got a full family I'm taking care of. And they support me, I support them. So I got my podcast that I know what it can be. I got my ministry, which I know what that can be. But I feel like I'm in a situation that it gonna be harder growing. But today I was talking to my wife, and she's like, well, how's it gonna be hard for you growing, even you living in St. Louis? Despite what they say, oh, people don't support each other, she said, there's no one else out here doing what you're doing. She's like, yes, there's motivational speakers, but she's like, the concept you got, the platform you have, and your voice, she's like, name somebody who's on your level. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, okay, I can. She's like, who? She's like, Steve Harvey. She's like, you looking at Steve Harvey because the lane he's on. So I'm going to take this back. Steve Harvey was a genius. He paved his own path. After Steve Harvey retired, there's nobody else to take his place. He's an icon now. He done great things. And when my wife told me, she's like, okay, you watch Steve Harvey videos every day. You understand what he did to get there. His success didn't start until he was 30. So she's like, look, Landon, you're 26 now, going on 27. So she's like, okay, you got 4 years to start building your platform. And she's like, do the same thing Steve Harvey done, was pave your own way. So that, if I refer that back to chess, my next move gonna be my best move. But at the same time, if I make the wrong move, it's checkmate, game's over. So I'm just telling people is, stop playing checkers with your life and just moving around freely because, okay, if I go over here and he got this space, I can do a double jump. Then I got one more space I need him to move over so I can have a king. Then I'm going to back jump him. Because even though you're doing that, you always can get jumped by a king. Because while you moving pieces, while he's moving pieces, they moving pieces. They can be a king. Y'all can become a king on both ends of the board. Then eventually, while y'all one backpedaling and one moving forward, you figure y'all gonna have to meet back up in the middle. And it just gonna depend on the next person who move it is that they can jump your king. And when you get your king jump, like I said, it's looking down a well. But checkers, another thing the guy told me was this. Playing chess is like looking across the ocean. It never ends. It's always beautiful. No matter if it's in the morning or the night. It never ends. It's always beautiful. So he said, look at your dreams like the ocean. The daytime or night. It's always beautiful, no matter what time of day it is. Especially if you get it on the sunset and the wind's blowing and the weather feeling nice. That's gorgeous. Don't even let the moonlight be hitting the water right and the tide's low. And you can walk out closer into it and you out there farther. Even like the moon hitting right, it's still beautiful and it's gorgeous. So take that same theory, analogy, and apply it to your life when you're playing chess. Because it takes a strategy, it takes logics, it takes patience, it takes dedication, and you have to pay your own way. But I had to come here today to let you guys know, because it was heavy on my heart, is that chasing your dreams is beautiful. But chasing your dreams in a fast-paced manner with no structure, no logic, no dedication, no focus, you playing checkers with it. Eventually, you'll miss a step and your game's over. But if you have patience, dedication, motivation, consistency, and God, your game is gonna be looking like it's gonna be like looking across the ocean, no matter what time of day, even when it's raining. It's still beautiful, because when it rains, it's just nothing but God just pouring down more blessings into your ocean to fill it back up, because He got greater things for you once you reach the other side. And it also takes you to the analogy as the sky's the limit. But a lot of people who's afraid of heights, who want to stay on the ground, better yet look across that ocean. Oceans is the limit. No matter how deep in the ocean you go or how far across you go, it's the limit. So follow your dreams with God. Let God lead you every step of the way. And also know that there's only one God, one baptism, and one faith. And this is your boy Landon from Television Talented. I couldn't do this without you, and I want to let you know that I love you, God loves you, and Television Talented loves you. And thanks for being here with me again.